that was close. Morning, TransByDef. Jenna here. Checking in on this week's topic. I just got done watching Kathy's video. And I'm squinting. The sun's a little bit bright this morning. Just got done watching Kathy's video, and I really enjoyed it. And I am really flattered that she actually mentioned me in her video. I have to warn her that I'm a tad bit off sometimes. This topic for me with role models, you know, I've given this a lot of thought, and not all my role models are trans. I'm really kind of varied. People that were my, that I looked at as role models in my transition were very stable personalities. They weren't flaky or flighty like myself. They were people that worked hard to make sure that the trans one I'm speaking of, that we were being shown in the proper light. And the one trans woman that really stands out to mind for me was, and this happened early in transition, by the way, was Jenna Boylan. And I think when I read her book the first time, and I cried all the way through, because it was like someone was speaking my language, and they weren't crazy and they weren't flaky, and you know, our community has a very colorful personalities in it, and you know, this woman was, not only did she tell me my story, like she was reading my mind, but our childhoods were very, very similar. Beach time and alone in solitude time, and that awkward feeling things were, you know, awkward feelings were really hit home for me, really resounded and hit home. I was forever caught up in her relationship with other women. She was younger, growing up, and solitude that she kind of experienced, and awkwardness, and being alone, and knowing that something wasn't, you know, knowing who you were, but that something wasn't right. I forever feel myself aligned with Jenna Boylan. She's Not There is a tremendous book. I read that book the first time, cried all the way through it, and all the way through I had a pencil, and I'm marking, and I must have marked almost every single page in the book with things that hit home for me. And I sent that book to a woman that named Stacy Gray, that lives out by Erie, Pennsylvania, that was kind of a big sister to me that I met. She called me her angel. They kept me kind of on the straight and narrow. You know, she had walked the walk a whole lot more years longer than I had before me, and she kind of was like a base stone for me, and kept me out of trouble. I sent her that book to read, and she sent it back, and with a note in it when she was done, and the note was to read the book again from the perspective of your spouse, so you have a feeling for what they're going through with your transition, which was, I read it, cried all over again, and I think I mentioned that in my comments on Colette's page, but she has ever, you know, we don't talk every day, but when I'm out that way in Ohio on business or something, I make sure that I swing by her farm on the way home and spend some time with her. We're still Facebook buddies and stuff, but she was really one of the standards that I looked at as role models go. You know, soon to follow that was Donna Rose. You know, I read Wrapped in Blue, and talked with Donna, you know, infrequently at conferences and stuff. And shared some stuff on her webpage with her about transitioning at work and stuff, and through the suggestion of my therapist. And I could follow the pain of in Donna, really being a professional woman and relating to the loss of family and what she went through also was very close to me, but not quite the same as the feelings I had with Jennifer Boylan's story. So those were kind of the people that were the stepping stones, for me. People that I looked up to. Flaky people worse than me, like me, turned me off. They were the early pioneers for me. I think that she was really a standard for me, and the other person that made me nervous. Hang on a minute, I think I see a bear in my backyard. Hang on. Yep, that's a bear. If things get a little flaky, you might have to run. At any rate, she was, one of the people that I definitely looked up to. Lynn Conway, a pioneer. I looked at people that were successful transitioners. Those were the people that I aligned myself with and role modeled myself after, because I figured I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, and model yourself after the successful transitioners and you should be okay. So that was kind of my game plan. Later on in transition, people that I looked up to and admire were people like Leith and Les on Training Star Galactica. Leith has since both have gone undercover, but I looked at them as role models and that you could do this and be successful, and I'm ever grateful to them. Local people, I belonged to the transgender group Renaissance early on, and there was a woman there that had gone through transition named Lonnie, who has since, she's married now and moved on with her life, and she was one of the people that, firsthand I could touch and know that I was going to be okay and that things were going to go forward and that it could be done. So she was one of the people that kind of, gave me the confidence that I would succeed, and she backed it up with her talk. Other people, a girl named Laura S. in New York City, that used to work for Sotheby's at one time. Now she's since moved on. She was one of the people that I befriended, and we could, we were in the same peer group, and we could relate with each other one-on-one, and the old standards that all of us looked to early on, the people that were the forerunners, Calpurnia Adams and Andrea James. I mean, what can you say? They helped so much with elevating us and plotting a course, with TS Roadmap that I'm forever grateful for them. I think that those people are people that I admire and look at as role models. And I'm keeping an eye out for a bear. I don't know where he's at, but he's right over here somewhere about 50 yards away. And those were the people that were the transgender role models that, I looked up to. People that were cis, that weren't really in our community, but were allies. When I came out, there was a James Walker, Dr. James Walker at CMD and J college there. He was in our EAP program. He was one of the people that gave me strength that I was going to be okay. And Dr. Bauer and Dr. Osterhout gave me the physical things to my body transition and they carried themselves how I wanted to carry myself. And those were people that I looked up to. Marcy said, I'm sure she says it to all her patients, do us proud, be the woman that you are. And I looked up to her. My therapists and stuff, these were all cis people that were allies that I patterned myself after. There were some business people that, in my line of business, I worked for a heavy construction equipment supplier. There was people in that realm that I looked up to. We had an older woman secretary that she didn't let me be a tramp. She taught me ways to be an elegant lady, and was an ally and a friend. And I look fondly back at her. She's since retired and moved on, but she was one of the people that made my transition successful and taught me how to have more grace and style, because I'm a tomboy. If I'm gonna be a graceful lady, I have to turn that switch on. Otherwise, I'm gonna have mud and dirt on me. I'll be in the woods all sweated up. But those were the people that I looked at that helped model me and mold me into the woman I am today, and I'm grateful. I look at a lot of the younger people like Aaron Grishno and Kara Allen is a real good friend. She'll be here. I'm sure you'll see her in a video soon. And obviously Lady Vixen's going to be here next week. So I think the three of us will do a video together. But these younger people that are doing it and keeping it real and leading the way, there's a list of those that I have that is just phenomenal. Now, they're in a different peer group, and we all still have the same basic story behind us, and so there's a bunch of those younger people that, come on, Bug. There's a bunch of those younger people that I really look up to and give thanks for, and so that's kind of where we are today. Everything's good. This is a great topic. Initially, again, it was, until I get into it and start rolling with it, I don't really feel comfortable with them sometimes. But, people, the people that are my role models are people that do it, that keep it real, and they lead the way with style and elegance and a little bit of fighting along the way to get to the other side. I am not one, people that are bullies, bully their way to acceptance, though there's a need for it sometimes. At times, I think that does more harm than good. So people I mentioned are the people that I've molded myself after, and and there's a bunch of cis. My ex-wives, both of them, have helped me in more ways than you can shake a stick. Michelle, she bought me clothes. She taught me how to do makeup. She helped carry the weight, and the whole time, which was really sweet, because the whole time I think she wanted me to die. And sometimes vice versa, I wanted the same. But today we're really good friends, and we see each other often. And I still follow her lead with things, and a lot of women. My role models today are ladies that have their chin up and, bring what's best for their families and society, and that's the people I look up to. So I'm done on this. Looks like it's going to rain again shortly, so I better get all this stuff inside and figure out where this bear is, because he was pretty close. I was looking past the camera going, oh boy. So I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.